Over the years, our family's had a share of health problems.
So prescriptions are a part of our life.
Before we went to the big box store.
We both thought it would help us save. But with the long lines and impersonal service, filling prescriptions became a chore. That's when a friend recommended D&H.
Now Tristan knows our prescriptions. Brenda always helps us find the right vitamins. And after Dad's fall, Monica's been a real expert with all our home medical needs. All without the lines.
Trust and service.
That's our D&H.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, December the 14th. And we've got one guest today, a very interesting lady. Her name is Nancy Beck, and she is the author of a book called Pillow Talk. Good to have you here, Nancy.
Good to be here, Paul.
And Nancy, you are a BSN and an RN. BSN is?
Bachelor of Science in Nursing.
And an RN. Of course, we all know RN. But how did you come about writing this book, Pillow Talk?
I had the experience of Pillow Talk over several years, and the effects for my family were so profound, I had to share it.
Now, this is really a neat book. When you hear the title Pillow Talk, you might think it's one of those romance novels, but it's not a romance novel.
No.
Tell me what Pillow Talk is about.
Well, Pillow Talk is about speaking loving affirmations to your children when they're asleep. And what's so profound about it is you can remove fears, you can build loving connections, and when you remove fears from a child, you're opening up the door to possibilities.
Is this almost like a hypnotic suggestion? You know, we've had Dr. David Newman on. In fact, he was the one who recommended that you come on here. And when someone is hypnotized, they're given suggestions that then carry through to the subconscious. Are you reaching the subconscious of the sleeping child when you're doing this?
It's my belief we are.
So you're not waking the child. You're
No.
talking very softly?
You don't have to. You can go to a child when they're asleep, and by saying their name, like let's say you're asleep, Paul, stay asleep, this is Nancy. And I say that several times.
Oh, you say stay asleep.
Stay asleep.
Not wake up, stay asleep.
Just stay asleep. And by doing that, you're lightening their sleep level into an alpha state. A very technical term, right?
No, that's
and so in the alpha state, then you're open to suggestions.
So when you say, Paul, this is Nancy, stay asleep, do you say, I want to tell you something?
I love to start my pillow talks with I love you, because I'm talking to my children. Thank you for being in my life. I'm the luckiest mommy in the world to have such a wonderful child as Paul. My heart is filled with joy and the world's a better place because you're in it. I love you with all my heart.
So this is what you tell your children?
Yes.
Do they remember this when they wake up, that mommy was talking to them?
No, they're aware that I've written the book and they're aware of the pillow talks, and they will come to me and say, Mom, could you give me a pillow talk? And it's really very sweet.
Yeah, yeah. Well, tell me what is in the book. When somebody buys this book, what are they going to find?
I've created several pillow talks based off of my experience with my children. So there's 17 pillow talks in here. Anything from helping the child sit still for the dentist. So my daughter went to get her tooth pulled, and she wasn't quite 3 years old. I didn't want her to have anesthesia. So I told her what to expect at the dentist office.
This is all while she's asleep?
All while she's asleep. And so when she went into Dr. Lori's office, she sat up tall and she let Dr. Lori do the work. She wasn't quite 3 years old, and she got through the procedure beautifully.
Here's one on healing. You say both of our children love to be active, and when they get the usual cuts and bruises children get, it works. In your work as a nurse, you were telling them while they were asleep. Here's what you were saying. Stay asleep, Sarah, this is mommy. Stay asleep, this is mommy. Stay asleep. So you repeated this several times. Then you tell her you love her, and then you say your body is perfectly designed by God. Your body is strong and healthy, and you will heal quickly. And have you seen a difference when you did the pillow talk as far as the body healing?
Oh, absolutely. Giving them that confidence that my body's doing what it needs to do. Again, removing the fear. You know, what if it doesn't heal? No, we're removing the fear, and so we're giving it permission to go ahead and heal and work the way it needs to work.
Okay. Does this work only with children, or does it work with anyone? Can it work with anyone?
It can work with anybody. The relationship needs to be a loving, trusting relationship.
Let's say someone in your family is seriously ill, or perhaps they're undergoing treatment for cancer, chemotherapy, or radiation. Is this going to help them heal? In your opinion, as an RN, talking to them loving thoughts while they're asleep and telling them that their body is healing?
Well, as a nurse, I use something similar with my patients, and they're not necessarily asleep. I help them relax. I do a head-to-toe relaxation, and then I let them know how their body's working perfectly and beautifully, and how taking a deep breath is very cleansing and healing. And then I take them into their healing place, wherever that needs to be for them at that moment in time, to have that magical healing occur. And that healing place can change from moment to moment. And to get there, all they have to do is take a deep breath. And
how do we know where our healing place is?
you just trust. Just in that time of relaxation, you just trust, and that's part of the process. I do the head-to-toe relaxation. I build you up for this, and we go to that healing place within yourself.
Now, you're an RN. How do the doctors that you work with, how are they reacting to what you're doing with the patients?
I have one of the surgeons that will come to me and specifically ask me, could you work with this patient? Because they recognize the results. They have patients come back into their office and say, wow, that was so helpful. I so much appreciate what happened.
So we all have it within ourselves, don't we? We have it within ourselves, and we all are able to help each other with this. The book is called Pillow Talk, and where is it available?
You can get it here in Columbia at Clover's Natural Market. You can get it at Peace Nook. You can get it on my website at
What's your website?
NurseNancyBeck.com.
NurseNancyBeck.com. I like that website. Nurse Nancy Beck. And how long have you been an RN?
I've been an RN almost 25 years.
Yeah. What inspired you to write this book?
Again, just the wonderful results I had with my children, knowing that
So you were doing this with the kids, with your children first, and then you decided, well, I should write a book and help other people.
I was inspired. I felt like it was my moral obligation to share this. One of your guests that will be coming on later, Sky, she was sharing how she uses it in her counseling and what results she's getting in her counseling center utilizing the concepts of Pillow Talk, my book.
Okay. So if you would like to have the book, it is called Pillow Talk, Loving Affirmations to Encourage and Guide Our Children, or actually anyone that you love. You're going to help anyone, and we all have it within us to do that. Nurse Nancy Beck, thank you so much for coming by. I hope you have a happy, blessed holiday season, and we appreciate you sharing this information with us. And you're still working with patients doing this. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Paul.
Okay, it's my pleasure. We're out of time for today. Tomorrow, Columbia Fire Department, and we're going to tell you about a fundraiser for the Humane Society. Our show, directed by Travis McMillan of the Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio is Pat Akers from KBIA. Our floor director is Eric Stazak, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. And if you would like to watch this program again or listen to it again, go to kbia.org. You can sign up for a free vodcast or a podcast. See you. Bye-bye.